What if I told you there is a place where winter is not just a season, but a way of being? A territory hidden among ancient mountains, where the cold does not punish, it simply quiets. There, every snowflake falls with the patience of one who understands time. Mornings are born slowly, wrapped in mist, and the world seems suspended in endless white. In the most isolated villages of the Swiss Alps, life does not rush, it withdraws. The houses, small and sturdy, bear the weight of snow like those who carry the memory of many winters. From above, everything looks hand-carved. Chimney smoke draws lines in the air, and the sound of a distant bell breaks the silence, like a reminder that there is still movement. Here, winter drapes the mountains like a sacred veil. Time bends, the horizon fades, and all that remains is the echo of the wind among the pines. There is a strange beauty in watching the world fall asleep, a calm that belongs to no other season. Seen from above, Switzerland looks like a living painting. Mountains rise like sleeping giants, covered in sheets of snow that reflect sunlight like mirrors of ice. The air is so pure it seems to sing. At every bend of the valley, white blends with the green of the pines and the gray of ancient rock, a harmony impossible to imitate. But it is when you draw closer that the enchantment fully reveals itself. Rivers descend like threads of crystal, cutting through the silence with their cold music. Fields stretching as far as the eye can see form a motionless sea of snow, an unmoving ocean stirred only when the wind blows. There is something hypnotic in this landscape. The gaze drifts, time dissolves, and for a moment the world seems simple again. It is hard to believe anyone could live here, and at the same time, impossible to imagine who could ever leave. The mountains call, not with words, but with presence, and whoever hears them once never forgets the sound of that silence. In villages hidden among the valleys, life goes on even when the world appears still. Mornings begin before the light, the creak of wood, the crackle of fire, the sound of a bucket striking ice. The people here have learned to converse with winter, to move slowly, to respect the rhythm imposed by the mountain. Men cut firewood with ancient gestures. Women tend to hot milk steaming in kitchens, and the smell of freshly baked bread mingles with the cold air seeping through the cracks. Every movement is measured, every task a ritual. Hurry is a forgotten word. In narrow streets, footsteps trace paths over packed snow. Children slide on improvised sleds while elders watch from windows. They know each winter is a lesson in resilience and tenderness. When fog descends and the church bell announces noon, everything seems to fall into the same tempo, the mountain's time, which hastens for no one. Here, survival is not struggle, it is coexistence. The cold is not an enemy, it is a companion. And silence, rather than emptiness, is the purest form of presence. Between white slopes and valleys, small villages emerge as if drawn by a patient artist. Zermatt, with its dark wooden houses and snow-sagging roofs, rests at the foot of the Matterhorn, as if seeking shelter beneath its eternal shadow. Chimney smoke rises slowly, sketching lines that vanish into the gray sky. Farther on, Grindelwald reveals itself among the clouds, a labyrinth of aligned chalets, yellow lights turning on one by one as the sun disappears. There, the silence is so deep that the sound of one's own heartbeat seems part of the wind. In Guarda, painted facades tell ancient stories, sgraffito designs that resist the cold like tattoos on the village's skin. And in Soglio, fog covers the rooftops until the world nearly fades away, turning each dawn into a sacred instant. Each settlement is a reminder of what we once were, small, connected to the land, guided by the rhythm of the climate. Nothing here is superfluous. Everything serves the essential: warmth, shelter, waiting. In the heart of the Alps, these villages do not challenge winter, they dance with it year after year, as if the cold were the melody that keeps them alive.
When the snow finally retreats, the white silence gives way to the sound of running water, and it is hard to believe it is the same place. The mountains, once cloaked in ice, now dress in green, and the valleys bloom as if breathing for the first time. The air carries the scent of wet earth and wildflowers, and the wind brings the sound of cowbells returning to the pastures. The contrast is so intense, it feels like a change of worlds. Where there was once ice and stillness, there is now color, movement, and life. Paths that in winter served sleds open in summer to those who walk among turquoise lakes and flowered slopes. But the inhabitants of these villages know the cycle well. They know summer is only a brief visit, a breath before the next snowfall. So they work quietly, harvest what they can, repair what the cold destroyed. And when the first flake falls again, no one is startled. It is the return of the time that rules, the same one that dictates when to sleep, when to wake, when simply to exist. Here, each season is a face of the same spirit, that of the mountain, eternal and patient. Not even the Alps, with all their grandeur, escape the invisible touch of time. The cold still comes, but no longer with the same force as before. In some winters, snow is slowed to fall, and the valleys wait, silent, for that white mantle that no longer covers everything as it once did. Slopes need help. Snow cannons replace the work of the clouds, and humans try with machines to recreate what the mountain once did alone. Even so, the magic endures. The inhabitants look to the sky with the same hope as their grandparents, and when the first fog blankets the rooftops, it is as if the world slips back into alignment. For them, cold is more than a season, it is balance. Melting ice, retreating glaciers, slopes changing color. Everything speaks of time, of a slow and irreversible transformation. But there is a quiet strength in these people who remain. They know winter is more than landscape, it is memory. And as long as there is snow on the mountains and fire in the hearths, life will continue to find a way to bloom, even beneath the white of forgetting.
There are mountains that are more than mountains. They're presences, ancient, silent, almost human. The Matterhorn, with its sharp form, rises like a monument to the impossible. For centuries, it challenged men and dreams. Some reached the summit, others remained forever on its slopes, a reminder that beauty here never comes without risk. Farther north, Pilatus watches over Lake Lucerne like a guardian of time. On clear mornings, its shadows stretch across the water, and the reflection is so perfect it feels like a living painting. No one knows for sure whether the lake reflects the mountain or the mountain reflects the sky. In the glaciers of Valais, ice moves with millennial slowness. It advances and retreats, carving the ground with the patience of ages. Walking there, the sound you hear is time breathing. The crack of ice, the murmur of rocks, the wind carrying memories. These places are not just landscapes, they're witnesses, and they remind all who pass through them that before the mountain, humankind is only a visitor. Winter passes, summer returns, but they remain, eternal, silent, invincible.
There are villages in Switzerland where time has chosen to stop, not through abandonment, but by choice. Bellalp, Murin, small jewels suspended among mountains, can only be reached by cable car. There, the sound of engines disappears, and all that remains is the soft rustle of wind against snow. Streets become paths of slow footsteps, trails of silence, where every echo tells a story. At dusk, lights glow behind windows, and the world seems to shrink until it fits inside a lit fireplace. Old houses exhale the scent of warm wood, and steam rising from chimneys lifts like invisible prayers. Here, daily life is made of small gestures, sweeping snow from the door, boiling water, lighting the fire, waiting. Visitors who arrive tend to speak softly, as if afraid to break the spell, and perhaps they are right. There is something sacred in this silence, a peace that cannot be bought or explained. It is the kind of quiet that slows the heart, as if the world for a moment remembers what it means to rest. In these car-free places, one discovers that the most beautiful sound of winter is one's own breathing.
Winter here is not absence, it is presence. It reveals what excess light hides, the slow rhythm of things, the value of silence, the beauty of what endures. When snow covers everything, the eye learns to see the essential. Every trail erased by white is a reminder that everything begins again, in another way, at another time. In villages lost among the Alps, cold is not punishment, it is an invitation. It asks for retreat, pause, listening. It asks us to look inward, like lighting a candle in the dark. Those who live here know this. They have learned to measure time by the sound of the wind, by the thickness of ice, by the silence that precedes a snowfall. When the sun returns and the white begins to yield, life awakens without haste. The thaw brings back the sound of water, the green, the laughter. But winter leaves something in everyone, a kind of ancient calm, a memory that sometimes stillness is also a path. In the Alps, paradise is not made of warmth, it is made of cold, silence, and a peace that exists only when the whole world seems to have fallen asleep. If this winter made you travel without leaving your place, let your gaze linger a little longer. There are many other worlds hidden among mountains, waiting to be discovered, slowly, like falling snow. Subscribe to the channel, share this silence with someone you would like to take there, and continue with me on this journey through places where time still knows how to wait.